So in our last sitting, in the 58th hymn, we were looking at the message, सबना का दाता एक है भुलियां लय समझाए, इके आपे आप खुआए न दूजे छड़ियन लाए, गुरमती हर पाइये ज्योति जोत मिलाए, अंदन नामे रत्या नानक नाम समाए. And the central message that we were talking about last time, in conclusion, that when you are on that path, the biggest pitfall is the recognition of the self, the ego. That's the biggest pitfall, because you become the doer. Even though it is your choice to go on that path, you do have the freedom of choice. One of the biggest confusing things that I have so far run into almost every time, everywhere, is the same question: what is my responsibility? If everything is His will, what is my responsibility? And continuous struggle with that thought, not being able to understand the meaning behind the Gurbani's words. You get caught into it. Kare karave ape aap manas ke kuch nahi haath. They'll take that statement and run it with literally. Kare karave aap sara kuch wohi kar raha ji, sade vaste kuch hai hi nahi. Dekho ji bani ne kya hai. Everything. So, since it is not in my hand, so why tell me to follow a particular path then? It is in my hand. That's not what is being said. You're trapped by your own invention called the language, called the grammar. You made the rules of the grammar and now you are caught by it. You can't go beyond that. Gurbani is basically giving a message that you have the freedom of choice. But that freedom to you is given by the Creator. So that's His will. And the choices are created by Him. So that is His will. So when you have the freedom to make a choice, no matter what choice you make, it will be in that will. Don't forget that. You are not the doer. You cannot make a choice that He has already not willed. You cannot decide that suddenly you want to feed a cow the meat you just cooked. That choice is not available to you. You cannot make it. Nature did not will cow to eat meat. Hence, you do not have that choice. You cannot make cow to eat meat because you like it. You're not going to be able to impose that on the cow. Why? That's not His will. So when Gurbani says, Kare karave ape aap, meaning thereby, everything that's going to be done is under that will. Within that will, you will make choices, but those choices are also His will. So since that is the case, do not ever forget, when you are making a choice, do not tie your I with it. Do not become the doer. Because if you become the doer, your ego will start rising again up and up. Your head will start going high and high. Aha! हम भक्ति करते हैं, हम पूजा पाठ करते हैं, हम दान देते हैं, हम सेवा करते हैं, हम संगत करते हैं, वो हम मैं फिर पकड़ के बैठ जाएगी. True, you made a choice to go on the bhakti marg. That's correct. But that choice was given to you by somebody else. Don't ever forget that. That's a grace. That's a gift. That's His will. And that is what is reminded again and again and again. Gurbani will say, do this. And then suddenly will say, but it's not in your hand. And we'll suddenly throw our hands up and say, wait a minute. Would you stay on one side? Either I can do something or I cannot do something. Would you stop? The answer is, it is a reminder to manage your own ego. Karta ka bhav, मैं का bhav, aham, hangata, ego, id, whatever you want to call it. I, the doer, is the major stumbling block in every activity. I, the medium through which the will is flowing, is a totally different mindset. And that was the message here. सबना का दाता एक है, पुलिया लय समझाए. How do you get to that stage? Oh, I got it now. No, you didn't get it. He made it possible for you to get it. Because as soon as you say, I got it, you're stuck. Understand that dichotomy. Understand that fine point. Anji Acharya.
Okay. Say there are three things I would like to do. Okay. Now, which one, how will I know which one is permitted by God or God really wants me to do that? How do
God has permitted all three of them. Otherwise, He would not make all three. That's where the freedom of choice comes in. If you can do three things, God is a neutral to all three of them, because depending upon what you make, the result is already made by Him. Right? He has already predestined. It's a labeling the thing. You have a choice. You can come and sit and not have a cup of tea. You have a choice. You can have somebody else make the cup of tea. You have a choice. You can make yourself the cup of tea. These are all the choices. And you pick a choice. Each choice has its consequences. And He's okay with every one of them. You are the responsible person for the consequence, because you made that choice. To Him, it doesn't matter. Why? He made all of them. Every choice is okay. It is just a choice. But that choice, where does it lead to you? Your consciousness. Is it pulling you down, or is it helping you to fly? It has nothing to do with Him. It's everything with you. Focus is not on Him. Where is the focus? On His grace that made all of that possible.
But isn't He guiding to make one choice? Now, let us not take such simple example in some major decisions.
Take any decision you want.
But
pick one. Should I get married or not? Should I commit suicide or not? Big enough for you?
Right. Okay.
You commit suicide, there is the consequences of that.
So if
you may attempt and not succeed. You may attempt and actually damage your body and still survive. You may attempt and actually succeed. All of these possibilities are there. You may attempt and somebody might see and come interfere, which is not in your control. If somebody else interferes, they make a choice to interfere in your action. So these are all potential possibilities. Remember that? We are in the field of infinite possibilities. Remember that movie? What the bleep do we know? It is a field of infinite possibilities. You pick one possibility that is going to help you the entity, to rise spiritually. Or you make a choice and say, I don't care whether I rise spiritually or not, I'm just enjoying having a cup of tea, to hell with the spirituality. And that's okay. What's the consequence? Enjoy the tea, forget the spirituality. That's the consequence. God isn't wishing to you that I must make sure that Asha drinks a tea at 8 o'clock in the evening. He has absolutely no desire. Couldn't care less. Niralep, niranjan, meaning thereby you cannot attach any characteristic with that energy that we know is attached with the human mind body form. वो निर्लेप है.
So I guess the one way of saying it could be if we attach I to it. If we say I made the tea, then the thing will come out, I made a good tea or a bad tea.
Right.
But if that I is not there, then body said, hey, you are hungry, you went made tea, and you didn't attach I to it, then whether it was good or bad,
it's irrelevant.
It was irrelevant.
Yeah.
So
once the I drops, the labels also drop.
Same action took place, but the way the result came across is different.
A total different quality. It is not the quantity that changes. It is the qualitative nature of the entire life changes. The Brahmyanis do exactly the same thing. They get up in the morning, they eat, they bathe, they go raise their children, they do everything. But the doer in them has disappeared. The awareness of the doer is completely gone. That is what is the purpose of Gurbani reminding the Sikh with every hymn. पहला कहणगे जाप कर ले, फिर कहणगे ये ओदी कृपा होएगी तां होना ही. ते बंदा सिर फोड़ लैंदा ये हो की रहा. This is the consistent question. And in the last hymn, again this question came. I had the same question today from India in the email. Every Sunday that is the same question in the after discussions. अजी कही जाते हो करो 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 पर साढ़े जो है ही नहीं साढ़े पास करो करो की. Get out of that paradigm. Gurbani is reminding you consistently that because of the language problem, I has been identified with who you are. And I and what you is totally are two different things. Don't devalue yourself. Man, tu jyot saroop hai. You are his essence. Don't devalue yourself to a simple muscle and tissue thing. Just as we have said that any woman who wants to be equal to the man actually is reducing her stature. Nature has put you higher. Don't try to reduce yourself. Understand your real worth. Same is the case on the total humanity. Gurbani says, एक आपे आप खवाएन दूजे छड़ियन लाए. Some are making this choice, some are making this choice, then it's his will. But the choice was there. It was equally available to both. You could have gone this way, you could have gone that way. You could have come here, you could have gone to see a wedding. The choice was there. You made a conscious choice. That's okay. When you made that choice, the entertainment and the results were different. Then you made the choice here, the entertainment results were different. They are both choices. They are available to you. He's not forcing your hand. Aha, you must go to the wedding today. He didn't. Oh, What do you expect to do when you find somebody is hurt and sick and we have to go to the hospital to see them? Isn't that a priority over satsang? Well, if it is to you, so be it. Ask yourself, by visiting the person who's in the hospital, is it causing just a social obligation to be discharged, or is it raising mental, spiritual level of either one of you? And if the mental, spiritual level actually remained the same or actually came down a little bit, and then you chose it. Don't say, I didn't have a choice. I had to go to the hospital. Well, that's what one of my friends last week, they said, well, I wanted to go to so-and-so, Sant, I had kept the appointment, I was supposed to be there at 8 o'clock, and then a friend of mine called and said, my daughter is in the school and there's nobody to pick her up, would you please go pick her up? So then I went there, I picked her up, and then I started talking to the friend, and suddenly it's 9 o'clock and I forgot. So what's my fault here? You made a choice. No, I just forgot. It's not my fault.
Because that I is there, so that guilt feeling is there.
No, you didn't just forget. You really wanted to forget. You were looking for that excuse. You were looking for the nature just provided the excuse and you got it. And you jumped on the first bandwagon you could get.
There are, like serious choice. See, there are, say, two major opportunities to invest very large sum of money.
Yeah.
Now, the person is asking God, oh, please give me guidance. Which way do I go?
And God couldn't care less. He is too busy. It's too busy.
It's not big for him. Not big.
God only worries about your spiritual evolution.
Interview with God. I didn't send you yet.
God would not interfere with your outer drama. You write the drama,
He says in there.
you live it. You act in it. He's not concerned. Write it down. Forever. God's guidance in the world of illusion has no significance.
It's so hard to accept it, really. This is third, fourth time you were telling.
Has no significance in the world of illusion, because illusion will always be illusion. How does it matter if this is the smaller illusion or a bigger illusion? Illusion is always illusion. Why bother? A dream is a dream is a dream. Why mix it with the reality? Why confuse it? But if we insist on that confusion, God says good luck, have fun with it. Sooner or later you're going to have to come back and say, oh, I wasted so much time in that illusion. I wish I... And we say that all the time, don't we? Aji Sajid to 100 saal pehla sanu kisi ne dassya hunda na. Our life would be totally different. Oh, is that so? Is the life different now? Now you know. How much change has been made? What is the revolution now?
There's a lot of change.
Slow.
Slow.
Change is there.
Very slow, but change is there.
Quite a bit change.
Anyway, I won't go there. Gurbani says, understand. Understand that. Don't go on defensive. Okay.
No.
If there is a real change, you don't need to prove it to me. You need to know yourself. Because between you and your God, there is no other witness.
But we are looking for appreciation from you.
Not at all. Then you have not gone anywhere.
Why?
If you're looking for the appreciation, you haven't gone anywhere then. there was two friends in the early childhood. They played together, and then by force of nature's circumstances they got separated. One grew up to be a king, the other grew up to be a big popular saint. He happens to visit, and somebody told him that the king of this town is your childhood friend so and so. He thought, that's nice, we should meet him then. And the king was also told that that particular saint, that you actually he's your childhood class fellow so and so, and he's now passing through your village. So, all right, so we're going to receive him. So the whole of the village has been cleaned up, dusted, and all that, and decorated like there is a Christmas only on that day. And the saint looks at it and says, he's trying to impress me with his wealth, isn't it? And the jailer says, it certainly looks like it. He's gone out of his way. All right, we'll see it. Before entering the palace, he's completely drenched himself with the mud. And with the bare feet, with the mat dragging, he's walking through the plush carpets and all that. And the friend gets up, looks at him and just says, drenched like that. He still takes him in the arms. And then he sits down on it just like that and says, well, thanks for coming, but I just have one question. I didn't think there was any dirt on the way you were going to come through. Where did you get into this mud? He said, well, since you were trying to impress me with your riches, I thought I should impress you with my poverty. So the king got up again and said, come on, let's meet again. Neither you have gone anywhere nor I have gone anywhere. Neither you have achieved anything nor I have achieved anything. Let's meet it again. We started as little stupid kids. We are still little stupid kids. Playing the same simple game of ego. Trying to show who's the better one.
Message received.
Good. Gurmati har paiye jyoti jyot milaye, andar naame ratiyan nanak naam samaye. The message was that even though you are making this choice, understand that it is his blessing. Because if it wasn't blessing, why would everybody not make the same choice? If you are making a choice that's helping you to rise up spiritually, ek ape aap khwayen duje chadiyan laye. How is it that some make the choice and some don't? It has to be his grace. Don't say, I did it. Because if you did that, whatever you did is already gone. Who are those who really get that message? And that's where the hymn 59 starts. It says, those are the real Gunvanty. Gunvanty means the one who has the characteristics to understand the mystical language. उसको एक गुण है, उसको एक quality है, that such refinement once communicated is understood, is accepted, is acknowledged, is internalized. Otherwise, and how does that happen? It says Gunvanty sach Paeya trishna taj vikar. Those who have those type of characteristics, they start arising spiritually. Sach Paeya, they start receiving the true message, the truth, the true energy, and slowly they start trishna taj vikar. Trishna means the negative desires. Vikar means the negative qualities. Slowly the negative qualities start going away. Gur Shabdi Man Rangya Rasana Prem Paeya. Now they are in deep into the meditative states. Man Rangya Gaya. They are now actually completely filled with what? Rasana Prem Paeya. Rasana means the language, the tongue. It suddenly starts, the language changes. the tone changes, the quality changes. ਹੁਣ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਪਿਆਰ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ. When the ego is in control of the human, the emphasis is who's right. That's a clear-cut test. If the urge is to prove I am right and you're wrong, that means the mind-body system is under the influence of the ego game.
Doesn't Trishna means desire?
Yeah,
You said negative.
negative desire.
Trishna is negative,
Negative
desire?
desire,
Is
yeah.
there any positive desire?
Yeah, of course.
Trishna means thirst also.
Yeah, pyas. Yeah.
What is the positive desire?
When you are into the...
Desire to get God?
Yeah, that would be a positive desire.
But then that's not good.
And all desires are bad.
Even that desire.
That desire eventually will have to be abandoned. Eventually, but that's again, it's a philosophical thing. We shouldn't go that far.
That's Buddha.
Thank you.
That's the last stage of Buddha.
So
That's the
not
last stage
so
of Buddhahood, right?
So
Right.
not a negative desire, just desire.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Trishna is just a desire,
Yeah.
not negative desire.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Have it your way.
No, I just wanted to have it
I
clarified
just want you
because
to
you
know that
said,
we listen to you. We
Because
retain
you-
sometimes.
भाई कभी तो कह लिया करो you guys are right, you are on the right path, you are thinking right. कितना अच्छा लगता है सुनकर ही.
और यही तो मैं चाहता हूँ. That's exactly what I don't want.
I know, but that will come later.
No.
भाई let us go step by step ना भाई. ये see, ये तो एकदम अगर शूट किया कि वो फिर नीचे आ जाता है, फिर एकदम आप शूट करते हो.
जिस स्टूडेंट को इतना पता है वो ऐसी बात कहता ही क्यों है?
Thank you. You noticed it. Good.
शूट अप एंड डाउन करता ही क्यों है? वो एक साथ रहे ना. बिन सतगुर किने ना पाया कर वेखो मन विचार. Very key thing here. बिन सतगुर किने ना पाया. Understand the word Satgur. In Gurbani, Gur, Satgur, and Parbrahm. These three terms need to be very clearly understood. And they are used in specific sense. Gur is the word that helps you to metamorphosize your own consciousness. If the consciousness is evolving, the word that helps that is the Gur. Now, Sadgur. Sadgur is that lieutenant nature of the ultimate creator that the human mind body form can stand seeing for the first time. सूरज के पूरे दिखने से पहले उसकी एक किरण की झलक आती है. अगर सूरज इकट्ठा आ जाए तो आंखें बर्दाश्त नहीं कर सकती, तो एक किरण आती है. In other words, it is precisely that energy, but not that intense that the first time human mind body system cannot take it. उस एनर्जी को सतगुरु कहा है. एंड देन जो अल्टीमेट है उसको पार ब्रह्म कहा है. पार ब्रह्म, इस ब्रह्मांड के जो पार है, पार ब्रह्म. परम ईश्वर, वो वहां से शब्द बना परमेश्वर. परम ईश्वर, because the Ishwar is also kind of a deity in our language. जो उसके बियॉन्ड है, जितने डाइटीज हैं, देवी देवता हैं, उसके जो बियॉन्ड है उसको परमेश्वर कहा. बिन सतगुर किने ना पायो. It's a very mystical statement. It says you will have to go through those stages. पहले जाप करोगे, फिर सतोरी आएगी, फिर समाधि आएगी. उससे पहले नहीं हो सकता. आप सीधा जंप नहीं ले सकते. बिना सतगुरु के नहीं ना पाओगे. You can't go straight. You have to go through those evolutionary developmental stages. मनमुख मैल ना उतरे जिचर गुर शब्द ना करे प्यार. And that is the real key. That word which is helping you to evolve spiritually should become the dearest and nearest to you. Unless you have that type of faith in it, then every day you will change it. People change even the words that they chant. आज राम राम कर रहे ने, कल गोविंद गोविंद कर रहे ने, कल ओम ओम कर रहे ने, परसों वाहिगुरु कर रहे ने. उन्होंने मन टिकाव आंदा ही नहीं. Why? Because they really do not have that discipline. At a higher level, they are exactly the same. But when you are starting, you should not be switching on a daily basis. Get hold on to one and then stay with one. And that one will actually take you to the ultimate destiny. Man mere Satguru ke paane chal. Walk on that path. Come under his will. Accept that fact. निज घर वसे अमृत पीवे ता सुख लहे महल. निज घर वसे. What is a निज घर? The original home of everyone is called a निज घर. This is not a निज घर. Why? Because this can be sold and forwarded and passed on to generation after generation after. निज घर cannot be given to anybody. It is yours. Only you can stay there. And which would be that? When you get back there. Each one of us getting back into that. That's निज घर.
अपने आप, herself.
Right. The inner self. Exactly. जिस दिन अपना आप जाग पिया, अंदर रोशनी होगी, अपने घर बस गया. And that is always the individual. Individual word comes from indivisible. You are an entity. You cannot be further subdivided. The problem is that your mind-body system prism breaks up the thought process into so many varied words, and now you are no more an individual. You are now a collection of so many memories. You have subdivided yourself, and that's what you need to get back to now. Become indivisible. इसी करके इसको योग किया गया. योग का मतलब है जोड़ना, इकट्ठा करना. Science means Vagyan, means तोड़ना. To break, keep on making smaller, 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 and keep on going deeper and deeper. That's the way of science. Or take this matter, break it into the molecule to the atom to the neutron, proton, and so forth, so forth, so forth. Keep on breaking it. Whereas a mystical scientist says, take this and start combining it. Come back now. All thoughts that are scattered over, bring them back. इकट्ठे करता जा. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Bring it closer, bring it closer, bring it closer. When you are just one. And that's what it's saying. निजकर वश से. जदों एक होके अपने अंदर बैठ जाएगा, that's निजकर वश है. अमृत पीवे ता सुख लहे महल. You will really see what the true sukha is. आज तो नहीं है ना, चाय बड़ी स्वाद बनी है जी. वाह, बड़ा आनंद है जी. घर बड़ा बड़ा है जी, बड़ा आनंद है जी. You have not really tasted that real one. Now, this was the characteristics of ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ ਅੱਖਰ ਸੀ ਗੁਣਵੰਤੀ, right? What is the opposite of Gunvanty? Gunvanty, right? So now we'll be talking about the Gunvanty. Those who understood that, if they have the characteristics, this is what will happen to them. Nij kar vasse amrit pive ta sukh laye mahal. They would really taste the nectar of life, and they will really see what the true bliss is in the physical body form, not after dying. It is a wrong translation when we say Kabira sab marne te jag mare mere mananand marne hi te paye purna parmanand. It's a wrong translation that he is saying after dying I am going to meet him. Doesn't mean he never met him while he was here. Jo milya nahi to Brahm Gyani kahta. Right? No, that's not what he's talking about. He's not talking about the death of the physical body. He's talking about the death of the ego. Kabira jit marne te jag dare. What is the fear? I am nobody. Mainu koi janda nahi. Remember the show? Go to the place where everybody knows your name. Cheers. Well, the theme song is it. Everybody knows your name. Because nobody knowing you is a terrible, terror-filled moment when you are. That's why, even though you are living in your own home, you can be home arrested. You are under house arrest. Means what? Well, you are going to be left alone. Nobody to talk to, nobody to listen to, no TV, no telephone, no music, no newspaper, no books. Just be with yourself. What a terror. And if you are to ask yourself, if I can't be with myself, how do I expect me to be with others? Isn't it? One of the paradox, we want others to accept us the way we are. Okay, can you accept yourself the way you are? Then there should be no problem in being alone in the home. You are your best friend. Talk to yourself. Have fun with yourself. It is a terrifying thought. What is the biggest punishment to a person who's already jailed? Solitary. Right? He has gone beyond everything, put him in the solitary. He gets everything, the food and the drinks and the taken care of everything, but solitary. You know what? A saint would love that. A bhagat craves for that. There are only two types of people who want to be alone like that. The lovers and a saint. I don't want to be with anybody else. That comes from the evolution of the soul. When your own friendship starts with yourself, and you will certainly find that everybody wants to be with you too. Yeah.
What is the fear of being
No.
with himself or herself?
Ego cannot exist. Ego exists only with respect to somebody else. ਦਰਖਤ ਨੂੰ ਥੋੜੀ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਮੈਂ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ. Right? You are a doctor with respect to somebody who is not a doctor. You are a man with respect to somebody who is not a man. But when you are by yourself, who are you? How do you exist? What is that I?
And the other thing could be, what do I do? Bore or
That's the whole point. That's the whole point. And the mazid ka hai, when you are in the crowd, actually you are talking to yourself more than when you are allowed to talk to yourself. Because if you are not talking to yourself, you would not have any dreams. What's the dream? Talking to yourself during the night. Whatever you suppress during the day is playing back. It's a standard Freud. Going to the jungle actually meant that. Learn to be with your own self. Learn to be your own friend. And slowly, slowly, the concept of the other disappears. But that didn't work out that way. And that is being said here, that those who do not get that idea, who are they? Av Gunvanty, gun ko nahi, beh na mile hadur. They have not understood the basic principle. Hence, they have no possibility of ever reaching that state. Beh na mile hadur. Hadur means in the presence. Because the presence is already here, isn't it? If you want to be with God, you are. Where do you want to go? But we understand a poet who says, जाहद पीने दे मस्जिद में बैठ कर नो तो वो जगह बता यहाँ खुदा ना हो. उस समय हम ये बात को समझ लेते हैं. पीने के लिए खुदा सब जगह मिल जाता है, मगर भक्ति करने के लिए मंदिर जाने की जरूरत है. अरे जरा भगवान के घर चले जाएंगे, वहां भक्ति करेंगे. Isn't that amazing? There that argument is completely acceptable. अजी की फर्क पैंदा है रब ते सारी थां दे, इत्थे बह के पियो उत्थे बह के पियो. पर की फर्क पैंदा है इत्थे बह के भक्ति कर उत्थे बह के भक्ति कर. गुरुद्वारे जाके की चले हैं? What do you need to go to a mandir or a masjid or a seminary or a missionary? Isn't God here?
It does give an environment.
जो मन को धोखा देने वाली गल है.
The mind, I think.
Create the environment. अगर तो घर च जे environment करनी है,
You can do the same,
then you will do the same.
but
Diwan Sahib, all you need to do is just clean up 2 by 2 feet in a corner
yeah, when you come to
and
that
just
place,
sit there in that corner every day.
when you come to that, you will have the same vibration.
You will have the same vibrations.
But the reality is the environment is more for social rather than for the...
Exactly. It is never for spiritual. That's why.
Not necessarily.
It's a socio-cultural activity.
Yes.
But anyway, but that's not the topic. He's basically saying those who have not understood, for them, there will be no place, ever. They will always be searching. Manmukh shabd na janani. Manmukh. Who's the manmukh? The one who's following his own mind. Whatever the information has been collected is going that way. Aji, mera vichar te ye hai. Right? Isn't that a very common statement we start? According to my views, okay, where did you get that view from?
In my opinion.
It's my opinion, okay, fine. How did you form the opinion? Where is that information coming from?
Reading, listening.
Right? You gathered it from somewhere. You read it, you heard it, parents taught you, university taught you, professor or friend or something. How is it that you're putting your own label on it?
It seems logical.
It is egotistical. That's what it is.
It may be a way of expression.
It's a way of expressing, if it was a way of expressing, no question about it. Right? So long as we remember that it's a way of expressing. It's not bothering. But we run with the passion in that belief. And we stay in that passion all the time. And that's what is Avgunvanty. That's what is a Manmukh. Manmukh shabd na janani. Avgun so prabdur. And every action would be what? Avgun. Rather than guna, reverse is avguna. And what would that do? What is the avguna's definition? Anything. So prabdur. That takes you away from it. That's avguna. In Gurbani's mind, it doesn't matter what you do or what you don't do. It is irrelevant. Anything that is taking you away from the ultimate creative energy is taking you away from that sahaj avastha, taking you away from that true sukha. They are all avguna. That's why Gurbani declares, Japaho to eko nama avar nirafal kama. Everything you do, Japaho to eko nama avar nirafal. कोई फल नहीं लगने वाला उसको। हालांकि ये बात सही नहीं है। किस दुनिया में? इस दुनिया में। इस दुनिया में आपने अभी ये बात कर रहे थे, you invest money, you get some benefit out of it. And you'll say, hey, look. How can you say? फल नहीं लगता, मेरे को तो फल लगा. That's not the fal is in what Gurbani is talking about. He's talking about the fal over there, in the other dimension, on the other side. If that is not happening, everything you are doing is avguna. जिन्नी सच पहचानिया सच रते भरपूर गुर शब्दी मन बेदिया प्रभ मिलिया आप बदूर. And those who have understood that secret, they are with the real truth. सच रते भरपूर, वो सच्चाई नाल भरे पए ने. They are completely filled with this energy. And गुर शब्दी मन बेदिया. मन बेदिया जाना means विनया जाना, परोया जाना. They are one with the word and word is one with them, and they can now really not just talk about kan kan mein Bhagavan, they can see and experience that kan kan mein Bhagavan. आपे रंगन रंगियन शब्दे लेवन मिलाए सच्चा रंग ना उतरे जो सच रत्ते ले मिलाए. Here comes a reminder again. Ape range rangiyon. Don't get into the trap that you are the one who's going to do it. That's going to be His grace. Usse nahi rangana hai. It is amazing how alert the Gurbani is in this matter and how confused we are about it. Every time I think about it, I really get amazed. What a paradox this is. That every third statement reminds us you are not the doer, and it is asking us to keep on doing. And we are completely confused. Should we do or should we not do? And not understanding this. Such a simple thing. So Gurbani reminds again, Ape range rangiyan, shabde le aur milaye. You will not get those words that will have that impact on you. Isn't it amazing that you hear the same words all your life and nothing happens to you and suddenly somebody else says it? And suddenly it makes sense.
Done.
Isn't it? I see that between husband and wife all the time. अपना आदमी कहना रहेगा कभी पल्ले नहीं पैदा तुझे बाहर आके क्या चल I got it. Wait a minute, I've been saying all my life to you. What is this magic? Now you got it. That is what the grace, that is what is the real will. That moment in time and space, a word will suddenly hit you. Shabden leon milaye, you will get it. वही चीज़ां रोज सुनते ऊपर सिर तो लग जाती हैं. And the same word suddenly repeated under certain circumstances by certain other voice, it hits you like a ton of a brick. Why is that happening? You say, well, that's His grace. There's no other way to explain it. His grace was always there, all around you. You just wanted to open. And you opened the door, sun just rushed in with the sunlight. You had the door closed, sun kept on waiting outside. It was there. Just your door was closed. Sun just does not push through. It doesn't break your door down and say, I want to come in. You have to invite the sun in. You have to open that door. That's your choice. Sacha rang na utare jo sach rahe livlaye, chare kunda pavthage manmukh booj na paye, jis sadgur mele so mele sache shabd samaye. And that is a test. Sacha rang na utare. If it is the truth one, then nothing will shake you. Nothing will change you. Nothing will scare you away. Nothing will plant a doubt, a seed of any confusion. If there is a seed of confusion, means what? वो सच्चा नहीं सी जड़ा शब्द पकड़या सी जो कर्म पकड़या सी that really wasn't the real one. Otherwise your faith should not have been shaken. If it is shaken, that means it wasn't the good one. It wasn't the real one. It's not the other way around, by the way. The reverse is not true. You cannot apply the same test to the falsehood. You can only apply that test to the truth. Truth is either complete or it's not. Falsehood can be half-half, 50%, 40%, 60%. Truth is always 100% or not at all. So ये जरा जना भी शक है, इसका मतलब सच्चाई को पकड़या नहीं. आज एक क्लैरिटी आई नहीं. Right? I mean, what happens when we say, okay, now, after today's talk, we're going to stop, and one of you are going to just repeat everything that was said. What will happen? We'll have a difficult time, won't it? Can't articulate. Why not? Because that clarity is not there yet. The moment that clarity comes in, the energy will start flowing automatically and there will be nothing to shut it down. It cannot be. That's the nature of it. No ambiguity, no doubts. If it is true, it will flow. If it is sitting just as information, intellect, just a data being processed, you will be stumbling with it. You will be struggling with it. The day it becomes internal, you come home. And that's what this is being said. Sacha rang na utre. No possibility. If it is there, it's there. Jo sach rate levelai, chare kunda pavta ke manmukh booj na paye. On the other extreme, you can attempt from place to place and visit all the holy sites of the world. That's not going to help you because you are not internalizing, you are externalizing. External world will not be the same thing with the internal. Jis sadguru mele so mile sache shabd samay. It is His grace who helps in this process. Mitra ghanere kar thaki mera dukh kaate koe. Mitra ghanere kar thaki. And that's a amazing characteristic. Also, if you talk to every human being, they all have this urge, a desire. Oh no, I really want to know that. I have had enough of it. And that then would stay temporary and you throw a little of the other diversions. And I see that all the time. And I just amuse. Now, earlier I used to get disturbed by seeing that behavior. Even in simple places, people say, Aji kuch sunao ji. And I just say, be serious as sunna chahte ho, like baithoge. Cha da cup le aao ji bana ke. Wait a minute. Tujhe kuch sunna ji ki cha da cup pina? Momentarily, immediate lapse of consciousness. नहीं जी थोड़े को कुछ सुना जी सुनाओ जी अच्छा जी गल कर दे दिवान साहब जी ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਗੱਲ ਕਹੀ ਸੀ ਉਹਦਾ ਕੀ ਬਣਿਆ You would want to start another topic right away. Even though that momentarily there is a desire, I want it. But how sincere that is. If it was, you would not deviate even for a single fraction of a moment. And it's that mind that's being explained here. मित्र घनेरे कर थकी मेरा दुख काटे कोई. I'm going from place to place, from person to person, to friend, with what? With one basic expectation that I want to get rid of this dukkha of cycle of life and death. And as soon as you start the topic on that, कोई होर गल दसो जी. ये तो बहुत औखा काम है. अजी दुनिया में भी रहना है जी. अजी बाल बच्चा भी पालना है जी. This is really not possible. Isn't there a smaller, cheaper way of doing it? And there isn't. But those who do not go with that desire and have that desire is sincere, what happens? Mil pritam dukh katya. They do not stop anywhere in the middle. Until ki mil pritam. Until that stage is there, they have nothing else in the middle. They are not happy with any. Aji chalo ji asi ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਦਿਲ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਪੁੱਛ ਕੇ ਸਮਝ ਕੇ ਦੱਸ ਦੇਣਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਮਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਹੈ. ਆਹਾ ਜੀ ਸੰਤ ਜੀ ਬਣ ਗਏ ਮਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਾਣਦੇ. A little bit of the occult powers, the real thing is forgotten. It's no. Those who have the real thing, they don't stop anywhere in the middle. Mil pritam, then dukh katya. What dukh? आन जानदा. इन्हीं के मेरे गोड़ा दी arthritis खत्म हो गई है. That's not the dukh I is talking about. The body is going to go through the same process. It's going to age the same way. It's going to have the aches and the pains and everything exactly the same way. It is the ultimate dukkha of dukkha, which is the cycle of life and death.
अपेत हो जाना.
That's exactly the apet ho jana. Yeah. So that's what it is talking about. Mil pritam dukkatya shabd milava hoye. So that word which became the source for you, which became the gur for you, it will get you there. Sach khatna, sach raaz hai, sache sachi soye, sach mile se na vichhade, nanak gurmukh hoye. If you are on that true path and you meet the ultimate truth, then the cycle, the life is really successful at that time. Sach mile se na vichhade. Once you are there, then there is no separation. Now it is milna te vichhadana, milna te vichhadana. You get out of that cycle. Those who are into that, remember, it's not your doing. Agala shabad vich start ye thogita. It's not your doing. You will not get there by your doing. Because if you are the doer, your I is there. If your I is there, your ego is there. If your ego is there, your aham is there, ahankar is there. You cannot. So while you are on that process, while you are making those choices, remind yourself what? Ape karan karta kare srisht dekhe aap upaye. He's the doer of it all. Sab eko ek vartada alakh na lakhya jaye. That one energy, all pervading. And since the cosmos is unlimited, so is he. Or the other way around, since he is unlimited, his cosmos is unlimited. And there is no way, alakh na lakhya, alakh, the one that cannot be, put it into the words, put it into the language, put it into any kind of system. Alakh na lakhya jaye. आपे प्रभु दयाल है, आपे दे बुझाए, गुरमति सद मन वसया, सच रहे लिवलाए. It is Guru di mat, is that Shabad that changed you. It is that mat, it is that suggestion that helps you to grow out of the bondage. It's not your doing. That basically Guru ke Gurmati manavasya sach rahe livilai. It is with that Shabad which help you to get to the truth. And once you got to the truth, then you became one with one. Live lag gayi, मन मेरे गुर की मन लय रजाए. Surrender yourself to the will. Raza, his will. Man lay. Surrender yourself. Man tan seetal sab thiye naam vase mane aaye. Unless you surrender, then that Shabad would not help you. Once you surrender, everything else will follow automatically. Jin kar karan dharya soi sar kare. Amazing. Jin kar karan dharya. The one who is the cause of this all. After all, if we step back from this, here is an energy. Right? That energy is complete in itself. Yet, to play the drama, from one it becomes into many. From a pure energy, it becomes solid. From a non-matter, it becomes a matter. Jinne kar karan dharya. For whatever cause he did all that, he knows. Soi kar kare. He is doing all of it all. There is no way for, because we are not the cause. Right? We are the result of that desire. We have no impact on the ultimate cause. Why he decided to become this, he only knows. Why a pure energy should decide to become a human body, an animal body, a plant, a bird, only he knows. For a human who actually is the result of that, to sit in judgment of that, would be laughable. जिस तरह गुलाम दा मालिक दी इच्छा बारे की गल हो सकती है. मालिक जानता उसकी की इच्छा है क्यों है. गुलाम उसनु जज करे तो पागलपन है. And Gurbani says, जिने कर कारण धारया, किस कारण करके उन्हें धारया सारा कुछ, क्यों पहरावा पाया उसने, वही जानता है. Soi sar kare, and because he is now in this form, he has to take care of the form. It's his form. He is wearing it. He is inside and outside, right? So he has to do whatever he wants to do with it because it's him. He's taking the care of the self. He's not taking care of me because me doesn't exist. That's an illusion. गुरु के शब्द पछाणिए जा आपे नजर करे. It is his grace that helps to recognize that word from the Guru. से जन शब्दे सोहणे तित सच्चे दरबार, गुरुमुख सच्चे शब्द रते आप मेले करतार. Those who have understood that and accepted that, से जन शब्दे सोहणे, where they appear to be beautiful and respectful, tit sache darbar. At that level of existence, they are the honored ones. Gurmukh sache shabdarate aap mele kartar. It is his doing that makes it all possible. Gurmat sach salahana, jisda antana paravar, kat kad ape hukum vase hukume kare vichar. Gur shabdi salaiye hame vichon khoe. साधन नामे बाहरी अब गुणवंती रोए. Gurmati sach salahana. Understand that if you are going to go on a path which is sach salahana, naam japana, sach di salah karni, understand that you want to do it with the guidance of what? Gurmat, not manamat. Watch out that if you are following something, you are following according to what is prescribed through the Guru. Again, a word of caution. Guru does not mean a human body. Whatever the guidance is coming through the Shabad, that's the way you want to do it. Not, but hey, that doesn't make sense. Oh, it's too difficult. Can we make it a little easier? Let's modify that. ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਪਿੰਡਾਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਯਾਦ ਆਉਣੀ, ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਬੁਖਾਰ ਚੜ ਜਾਣਾ, ਉਸਨੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਦਵਾਈ ਦੇਣੀ, ਕਹਿਣਾ ਜੀ ਬੱਚੇ ਦਾ ਜ਼ਰਾ ਪਰਹੇਜ਼ ਕਰਨਾ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਚੰਗੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਯਾਦ ਹੈ, ਮੈਂ ਛੋਟਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤਈਏ ਦਾ ਬੁਖਾਰ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਡਾਕਟਰ ਕੋਲ ਦਵਾਈ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਏ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਖਰਬੂਜੇ ਨਵੇਂ ਆਏ, ਮੈਂ ਕਹਾ ਮੈਂ ਖਰਬੂਜਾ ਖਾਣਾ ਹੈ, ਪਿਓ ਦੇਵੇ ਨਾ। ਲਾਗੇ ਇੱਕ ਰਿਸ਼ਤੇਦਾਰ ਆਇਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ, ਉਹ ਬੈਠਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀਗਾ, ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਦੇ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਨੂੰ ਐਵੇਂ ਰੋਂਦਾ ਪਿਆ, ਡਾਕਟਰ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਵੇਂਦਾ ਪਿਆ ਇਹਦੇ। ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਬੜੀ ਚੰਗੀ ਲੱਗੀ, ਹੁਣ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਵੇਂਦਾ ਪਿਆ, ਚਲਾ ਲਓ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ, ਆਪਣਾ ਹੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਫਾਰਮੂਲਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੱਲਦਾ, ਗੁਰੂ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਵੇਂਦਾ ਪਿਆ, ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਬਦਲ ਲਈਏ, ਥੋੜਾ ਸੌਖਾ ਕਰ ਦਿਓ। नहीं, don't do that. Gurmati sach salahan. If you're going to go down the path, it is according to Guru's mat, not your mat. Just the antana paravar. Why? Because you are now getting on a path which is infinite in nature. Mind, anything that comes out of the mind, because the mind is finite, everything that comes out of the mind would be finite. It will not lead you on the path of infinity. Only that which already is infinite can lead you to the infinite. घट घट आप आपे हुक्म वसे हुक्मे करे विचार, घट घट आपे हुक्म वसे. Remember the very first line of Japji. कि सचियारा होई है कि कूड़े टुटे भाव, हुक्म अर्जाई चलना नानक लिखिया ना. It is inside you. Same thought is being repeated here. Ghat ghat ape hukam vasse. That hukam is inside you, every one of you, individually. You really don't need anybody else's guidance. You got it already inside. All you need is pay attention to the voice. And don't play games with yourself. Self-deception is not the nature of a meditator. Hukme kare vichar. That word is with you. Think about it, what it's telling you. Is this action getting you closer or not? The answer is right inside you. Good shabdi salah ye hame vichon khoe. That's a basic test. Are you on the right path? Of course. Here's the test. How may vichon khoe. If the ego is getting down, you know you are on the right path. If his ego is going up, you know you are on the wrong path. It doesn't matter what you're doing, including your meditation, including your Vaheguru Ram Ram Om Om, doesn't matter. If the ego is going on the opposite direction, you have already lost the path. Regardless of how much effort you put in. How many vichon khoe is the real test? Sadhana name bahari avganvanti roe. ऐसी जड़ी जीव स्त्री है, धन का मतलब है औरत in literally, but औरत does not mean the physical औरत, the kaya inside. That one, if it does not have that guna, then what will happen? Avganvanti roe. The whole of the life will be wasted. आपे मेल मिलाएंदा फिर विछोड़ा ना होए. सच सलाही सच लगा, सच्चे नाए तृप्त होए. गुण विचारी गुण संग्रह अवगुण कड्डा तोए. आपे मेल मिलाएंदा फिर विछोड़ा ना होए. नानक गुरु सलाही अपना जिद्दू पाई प्रभ सोए. सच सलाही सच लगा, सच्चे नाए तृप्त होए. So now you are just surrounding yourself inside and out with that true word. And you stay with that consistently. Sache nae tripta hoye. Tripta ka word means the pyas bujh jaye. Gun vichari, gun sangraha. So anytime, any moment, that's available to you for the rest of your life, you are only devoting to what? Gunvichari. I'm only going to talk about him. If there is going to be something good said about from my mouth, it's going to be about him. And what do? We normally say, जी प्रधान साहब ने बड़ी मेहनत की थी है जी, इन्हां दा बड़ा धन्नवाद है जी, ये बड़े चंगे बंदे ने जी, इन्हें जो शुरू होंदे है, फिर प्रधान खड़े होंदे ने, वो कहंदे जी सैकटरी साहब ने बड़ी सेवा की है जी, ये बड़े चंगे बंदे ने, फिर सैकटरी साहब आउंदे है, वो कहंदे ट्रेजरर साहब बड़े ईमानदार ने जी, उन्हां बड़ी चंगी गल कीती है. And it goes on and on and on. In the house of worship, we feed each other's ego. Rather than helping each other to become humble, we actually help each other to become arrogant. अजी कदी तो चंगा कह दिया करो ना, कितना चंगा लगता है.
In Western society,
To build self-esteem.
no, but, but in Western
That's
society,
a very
we
nice
say,
sounding word.
no, but in Western society we say acknowledging the efforts of being thankful.
Yeah.
No, but
But we have to separate the spiritual world from the social world. In the social world, what you said is absolutely true.
right.
In the spiritual world,
That's what they're doing there. You know,
the problem is they are not doing it in a social environment. That's what is the objectionable part. That's not a social environment. That is supposed to be a spiritual environment. Now step out of the environment and come out. And
that's a religious environment, not a spiritual environment.
That's the point. That's exactly the point.
Okay.
That it should have been for the purpose of the spiritual. It turned out to be a social, cultural, and then now we are feeding each other's ego, hiding behind what? Spirituality, the religion, Guru's Shabad, Guru's word. Hide behind these nice sounding things and play the drama. And Gunvanty says, that type of a mixing would not work. Get that very clear. सच सलाही, सच लगा, सच्चे नाए त्रिपत होए, गुण विचारी, गुण संग्रह, अवगण कड्डा तोए. No compromises. Truth is either 100% truth or not at all. That's what scares the most of the people from this path. How to be that disciplined?
You become useless in this world.
You become useless for this world, exactly.
And I think it is difficult to survive without stroking
No, that's
ego.
not true. Not
Without stroking ego, for most people, it is difficult to survive.
They just start going away from you. That's all. So long you're okay with it, that's all right.
It's amazing ਜੀ though ਕਿ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਵਿਕਾਰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਾਮ ਕ੍ਰੋਧ ਲੋਭ ਮੋਹ ਅਹੰਕਾਰ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਉਮੈ is repeated so many times to be careful of.
Yes.
Versus the other four.
You're absolutely right. Because this is the most hideous one. Haume dheerag roga hai. Others are much easier to control as compared to this one, because while you're controlling the others, this keeps on going up. Man ji ajkal मोह नहीं रहा, फंस गए. मोह तो घट गया, मान ले, and say statement of a fact.
मैं आ गई.
और मैं बढ़ गई. मैनू क्रोध नहीं आंदा आजकल. आगे बड़ा गुस्सा आंदा सी, हुण क्रोध नहीं आंदा. क्रोध तो घट गया, मैं बढ़ गई.
How are you going to?
मेरा लोभ घट गया है, मैं आजकल पैसे के पीछे नहीं भजदा. लोभ तो घट गया, अहंकार बढ़ गया.
No, but all these things drop with the age anyway.
No, I'm not in every.
That's
Other things, more,
yeah,
and this crowd, even crowd,
yeah.
they drop, they get less and less as we age.
But the ego doesn't.
Maybe we start thinking that we are.
No.
I think in you probably you cannot generalize. I've seen.
But you may start becoming more accepting of the others.
Tolerance, patience.
Tolerance, patience, because now done enough of fighting.
You are a nice one, so you know that.
You are a nice Buddha.
Don't do that. But you know, I've seen people.
No, you're right.
Old age, they're very, they create so much trouble.
To each his own.
It's not generalized, everybody does. You are blessed.
But his point is very valid. That Gurbani does not hammer so much on the rest of them. But it reminds about the ego at every step of the way. Every step of the way. Watch your ego.
Yeah.
Watch your ego. Watch your ego. Even when you are doing bhakti, the ego will come back. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਘਰ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਕਰਵਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ, ਪਾਠ ਕਰਵਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ, ਅਜੀ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਜੀ 400 ਬੰਦਾ ਬੁਲਾਇਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈ ਜੀ, ਰੋਟੀ ਕੇਟਰ ਕਰਵਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ, ਐਂਡ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਜੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਆਣਾ, ਰਾਗੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੜੇ ਹੈ, ਬਹੁਤ ਚੰਗੇ ਬੁਲਾਏ ਹੈ, ਗਾਣਾ ਰਾਗੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਚੰਗਾ,
ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਐਡਵਰਟਾਈਜ਼ਮੈਂਟ ਹੋ ਗਈ।
ਐਗਜ਼ੈਕਟਲੀ ਉਹੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਐਡਵਰਟਾਈਜ਼ਮੈਂਟ ਹੈ ਉਹੀ ਤੇ ਹੰਕਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਵਧਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ।
This is what.
Yeah, you're telling all the information.
So I guess because AV natural can be with knowledge, it's very easy to become, pardon my French, smart ass.
Absolutely. Actually, that is far more dangerous. ਇਸੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਭਗਤੀ ਦੀ ਭਗਤ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੋਮੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਇੰਨੀ ਬਾਰੀਕ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ।
ਮਤਲਬ
ਜਿਹੜਾ the meditator, it's his ego or her ego becomes so refined that it hides in the back door.
ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਤੇ ਚੁਕੰਨਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ।
That's why Gurbani is warning at every step of the way. Constant reminder. One of the reasons Guru Nanak's path is a combination of both Bhakti Marg and Gyan Marg, which were two individual before Guru Nanak, right? Bhakt Freed is a pure Bhakti Marg. Magar Ramanand is a pure Gyan Marg. Buddha is a pure Gyan Marg. Right? Now, what's the problem? In Gyan Marg, the process is that you are going deeper and deeper and deeper into a single thought, to the extent that now the thinker itself dies.
My ego still dies, but in a different way.
But in a different way. In other words, you are not surrendering in the beginning. You are questioning in the beginning. That means I has to be there because it's the questioner. It is the thinker. It is the analyzer. It is the observer. And it is going so deep into the observations that observe karta khud hi ek ho jata hai. That means the ego will die at the end of it. Okay? So in Gyan Marg, the ego dies at the end. But in a Bhakti Marg, you surrender the ego first. Right? Now, ਦੋਨੇ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਲ ਹੈ। ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਈਗੋ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਉਹ ਸਟਰੋਂਗ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਮਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਉਹਦਾ ਹੰਕਾਰ ਇੰਨਾ ਵੱਧ ਸਕਦਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਤੱਕ ਜਾਏ ਹੀ ਨਾ। ਖਤਰਾ ਹੈ। ਇੰਨਾ ਗਿਆਨੀ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਜਾਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ। I know everything. I know God. I can show you God. I can prove it to you that it is there. Right? ਉਹ ਆਈ ਇੰਨੀ ਸਟਰੋਂਗ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। That's a risk. On the ਭਗਤੀ ਮਾਰਗ ਉਹ ਅੰਧ ਗਿਆਨੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ, ਉਹ ਸਮਝਦਾ ਹੀ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ। तो Guru Nanak said, wait, they're both risky. So combine the two. So do what? Understand a little bit what you're doing. And then stop. Now start doing it. And when it tries to become the Andagyan and Raja Raste Jaya, come back to the Gyan. And carry on both so that you actually, without having to make the effort to kill the ego, it goes by itself. So that's the basic difference between the methodology of Guru Nanak and the methodology of Buddha or the methodology of Sheikh Farid. Guru Nanak's method is combination of the two, synthesis of the two. Because for both other methods, you have to be exclusively dedicated.
It's easy to get on Andhvishwas in that.
ਛੱਡ ਦਿਓ ਜੀ ਜੰਗਲ ਜੋ ਚਲੇ ਜੀ ਫਲਾਣੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਚੱਲ ਗਏ ਸਾਰੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਛੱਡ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਬਸ ਚਲੋ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਬਲਾਈਂਡ ਫੇਥ ਤੁਰ ਪਿਆ ਜਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਾਦ ਨਾ ਕਰ ਕਿਤਾਬਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਕਿਤਾਬਾਂ ਗਿਆਨੀ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਗਿਆਨੀ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਡਿਸਕਸ਼ਨ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਆਰਗੂਮੈਂਟ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ both you take you away from the worldly life. But when you have the combination of both, you can actually live the life as if you are living the life, but you're doing that work. And when Yogi said it is not possible, he said, are you crazy? I'll prove it to you. And for 2.5 centuries it continued. Sikhism proved to the world that it can be done. No other experiment on this planet has been done to that extent, where the mysticism was actually done, implemented, and then documented. That you do not have to renounce anything, you have not to go away, you have to learn to change the inner. Rather than putting the emphasis on the outer, put the emphasis on the inner. So you become actor to the world, real to the creator. So they documented it. Nama kahe te lochana, mukhte ram samal, haath paaye do kaam kar, chit naranjan naal. Let the body work. Stay in the world. Create. Be part of the society, but not of the society. Just be an observer of the society. Don't get lost in it. And you can get to that state. It is such a powerful message. I mean, we are so unfortunate in this that we have not been able to propagate it anyway. It's such universal. And it's so powerful.
So by doing that, social isolation, you don't have to do that.
You don't have to do that then.
If you are
exactly
acting,
you know that you don't need to. You know what the reality is. Then you don't have to play that drama. ये भगत कभी भी मुंह किसी की तारीफ नहीं करेगा ना किसी को निंदेगा भाई ठीक है you are you I am I everybody is what they are so that's okay and that's what is hammered in these last 2-3 lines केड़ा सच सलाही सच लगा सच्चे नाय त्रिपत होए देखो how much emphasis is in the purity of the message no compromises no deviation from the message गुण विचारी गुण संग्रह इकट्ठा जो करना है पैसे इकट्ठे ना करो घर इकट्ठे ना करो है ना जिस तरह शेख बीवियां इकट्ठी करी जाते हैं वो केड़ा सी राजपुर का राजा सी जेड़ा ਜਿਹਦੇ 3000 ਜਨਾਨੀਆਂ ਸੀ there is that mahal is still there in one of the Rajasthan states that palace has been turned into now
Jaipur Udaipur
Rambagh Palace
yeah that has 3,000 rooms for 3,000 of his concubines.
I thought that was in China.
Maharaja Patiala had
he had plenty of them too. Everybody that was considered their bigger the Raja, more the women. Don't collect that. That is not going to help you anywhere. Other than you'll become a butt of a joke. If that's what you like, so be it. But if you are on the meditator path, what you should be collecting? Sach sangrah. सच दी ही गल करनी मतलब कि उसे दियां गल्लां करनियां ने ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਉਹਦੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰ ਸੱਚ ਗੁਣ ਵਿਚਾਰੀ ਗੁਣ ਸੰਗ੍ਰਹ ਅਵਗੁਣ ਕੱਢਾ ਧੋਏ all negative energy is going to eventually get washed away from the mind body system ਆਪੇ ਮੇਲ ਮਿਲਾਏ ਦਾ ਫਿਰ ਵਿਛੋੜਾ ਨਾ ਹੋਏ ਨਾਨਕ ਗੁਰ ਸਲਾਹੀ ਆਪਣਾ ਜਿੱਦੂ ਪਾਈ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਸੋਏ so he's the one who has this drama going. He's the one who will make sure that you eventually get back to your source where you came from. Once you get back in there, there will be no possibility of ever separating it again. You will have completed the journey and the purpose of your life. That concludes the 59th. So I think
60.
The 60th. So we should, I think it's in 9:30. We should take a pause at this and we'll pick up it from here 2 weeks from today.
16th. 16th.
So if you look at this the entire summary of it, even though the words are different, the metaphors are different, the word pictures are different, message remains one. Message remains one. Your purpose of life is to get back to where you have come from. It is only possible in the human body form, not in any other form. If you choose not to do it, it is your choice. You can make that. But the suggestion is, don't waste this incarnation. Try to make the best of what you already got. So with that said, I want to thank you all. And hope you had a nice turkey day.
आपको दिया था ना invitation last time.
One thing you were talking about, if somebody is on the path, talking about the journey, you eventually get there if you're lucky. When you're making progress, like initially it's probably just baby steps, but you feel like you're making progress. Is that also hame? And is that a good side to having hame? To say, I'm making progress, even though you don't show it to anybody, but it's helping you do more, concentrate more, do more meditation. Would that
ਉਹ
still
ਜਿਹੜੀ
be
ਹੈ ਨਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ rather than getting on that tangent, it is that ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਣੇ 'ਚ ਇੱਕ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਹੈ, ਇੱਕ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਸ਼ਾਂਤੀ ਹੈ, ਇੱਕ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਚੈਨ ਹੈ, ਇੱਕ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਚਿਹਰੇ ਤੇ ਖੇੜਾ ਹੈ, and that should be sufficient. That there is a more
desire to
ease. The tension in the mind-body system is getting down and down and down, and you are observer of that reduction of tension. So it is in a way, happiness with the self. बजाय चेहरे ते उदासी होने दे, चेहरे ते ते जरा मुस्कुराहट बढ़ती है. So whether you want to watch for that I कि हाँ मैं कुछ अचीव कर ले. It should turn into a gratitude. It should turn into a thanks. It is your grace. I'm feeling it. There is a feeling of blissfulness. So long as it stays that way, so long you are alert, that it's not turning into say, मैं तो ऐसे पहुंच गया थोड़ा की हाल है. It is that. अजी सानू ते अनहद नाथ सुनाई देने लग पे है, सानू ते 2 मिनट बैठने हैं तब भक्ति से समाधि चले जाने थोड़ा की हाल है.
I guess the main question is, does it become hame when you present it to somebody, when you show it outside?
If there is such a feeling inside, then it is becoming that. It has nothing to do with the other world, whether they think that you are egoistic or not. The question is, are you feeling that? Aha, I am better than that one. See, मैनू तो इतनी देर हो गया, उन्होंने इतनी देर होगी, कुछ भी नहीं होया तो मैं इतनी देर जा कर लिया. When that is repeating inside, the ego is playing its tricks. And the reminder is, no, you haven't done a judge. It's His grace. It's prasad. That's all. So it is that reminder, a constant reminder. उठदे हैं, बैठदे हैं, सौंदे हैं, जो भी है, मैं नहीं उठ रहा, मैं नहीं सौ रहा, मैं नहीं जाग रहा, मैं नहीं खा रहा, मैं नहीं पी रहा, वही कर रहा है, वही कर रहा है, वही कर रहा है, तू ही कर रहे हैं, तू ही कर रहे हैं, तू ही कर रहे हैं. So when you start hammering that conscientiously on yourself, slowly the I will stop bothering that. कि मैं भी कुछ हाँ.
कई बार वो फिर भी निकलता है जी कि मैं you know, but then you at least you acknowledge that I said that I.
You are immediately alert.
Yeah.
Before it takes roots, subconsciously ਦੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤੁਰੇ ਜਤਾ ਨਾ, ਜੇ ਤੁਰੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਤੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਯਾਦ ਓਹੋ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਉਹ ਸੁੱਤੇ ਆ. There is a beautiful story in Buddha's life about the awareness, alertness of the mind-body system. Somebody went to ask him a question, and he was sitting in front of Buddha, and ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਉਹ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਚੌਕੜਾ ਮਾਰ ਕੇ ਬੈਠੇ, ਐਸਾ ਚੌਕੜਾ ਮਾਰ ਕੇ ਬੈਠਾ ਹੋਇਆ, and ਨਾਲੇ ਉਹ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਗੱਲ ਤੇ ਨਾਲੇ ਗੋਡਾ ਹਿਲਾ ਰਿਹਾ. ਓਕੇ, ਬੈਠਾ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਵਾਲ ਪੁੱਛਣਾ ਹੈ ਜੀ. And he's watching, and ਉਹਦਾ ਗੋਡਾ ਐਂ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ. Buddha refused to answer him anything. ਸਾਰੇ ਹੈਰਾਨ ਹੈ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ and we kyun nahi, what's the matter, why won't you answer his question after he's gone? He said, no, I have no answer for your questions. Just ਜਦੋਂ ਚਲਾ ਗਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਬਾਕੀ ਡਿਸਾਈਪਲ ਨੇ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀ ਸੀ. ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਜਿਹਦਾ ਮਨ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸੁੱਤਾ ਕਿ ਉਹਨੇ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਰੀਰ ਨੂੰ ਹਿਲਾਈ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ, ਸੁੱਤਾ ਹੋਇਆ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਜਾਗਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਿਆ, ਇੰਨਾ ਤੇ ਹੋਸ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਉਹਨੂੰ. ਮੇਰੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਤੇ ਸਵਾਲਾਂ ਦਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਜਵਾਬ ਦਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਕੀ ਅੰਦਰ ਅਸਰ ਹੋਣਾ. ਜਿਹਦਾ ਮਨ ਇੰਨਾ ਸੁੱਤਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਰੀਰ ਦੀ ਹੋਸ਼ ਨਹੀਂ, ਜੇ ਫਿਜ਼ੀਕਲ ਦੀ ਹੋਸ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੇ ਨਾਨ ਫਿਜ਼ੀਕਲ ਦੀ ਹੋਸ਼ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਆ ਜਾਏਗੀ. The question he is asking is completely esoteric, and he is completely so much asleep that the most solid is not visible to him. How is he going to see the non-visible solid? And he refused. मतलब mind body da alert hona. As you said, thought process will come. I did a oops. It's पुरानी habit है, निकल गया मुंह फिर. It has been done by somebody. Now that is the awareness. As you start catching, slowly उस behavior ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ gap ਪੈਣਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਜਾਏਗਾ. And that's part of the meditation.
But ਉਹ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ when a situation comes, ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਨਿਕਲਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ I want to tell who I am. You know?
Yeah. It's like, silence can never be declared, right? Humility cannot be professed. आज जी ऐसी तो बड़े करीब आ जी. टैप तेरे 12 4 करीब. तेरे इन्हें कहने जिसे तेरा पता लग गया तो कितना काम मिले. It has to be left. वो जो खुरक है ना, कि किसी ने दस देंगा कौन है. उस खुरक को तुम watch करना. That's an urge. It is not to be declared.
फिर sales people तो मारे गए. If they don't talk, then there's nobody's gonna know.
I guess as long as you know it's acting.
No, wait. Now you're confusing the inner with the outer. When you're in the outer and you're acting up a role, is not the same thing.
You're allowed.
The problem comes that you are really not acting the role, you are doing the role. You are completely unaware of the fact that I am just acting. This is not real me. I'm going to tell him I'm the best salesman in the world. But in my mind, I really know there are much better salesmen in the world. I have to lie to him. And I'm aware of that. I'm consciously. I keep giving that same example. When the actress is kissing another actor, the person who's watching is getting aroused that they are kissing. Is she getting aroused or he's getting aroused? They are acting. And I remember when I was in Bombay and Kirk Douglas went at the opening of Spartacus. And a reporter asked him the same question. That you get a chance to kiss all the prettiest women in the world, how lucky a man you are. And he said, is this your wife? Yeah. Both of you come over here on the stage. So look at, this is your wife, right? He said, okay, kiss her. He said, what do you mean? He said, no, just, this is your wife, you're married, you're legally allowed to kiss her. So what's the problem? Just kiss her. Everybody's watching. He said, what do you think goes through my mind when my wife is watching? And the director tells me, kiss her. Do you think I can enjoy that kiss? Or do I have to tell myself, I am an actor, she's an actress. It's a role we have to play. Can we tell that? I am the best salesman. Can I tell myself I am playing a role of a salesman? Or I really do believe I am the best salesman in the world? That's the key. If we can understand that difference, you are the prettiest woman in the world. I have never seen a woman like you. Right? Do I really believe that? Or do I ask, have you seen all the women in the world? But we like to hear that and believe that at that moment. Therein lies the problem. We have stopped acting to the world. We have become real to the world. We have started acting to the God, and we're supposed to real to the God. So nobody is asking you stop working or stop saying or stop selling. But when you are selling, are you also aware inside you, I am in a role of a salesman? That's the key. And more you remind yourself and learn still to act so that you can be given an Oscar. She played such a good role, she deserves an Oscar, even though she is not. When you learn to play that role, when you can get the Oscar, that's when you get closer to God. Getting Him is your Oscar. Now you have become actor to the world, real to that. So, as you start catching yourself, that's the problem. We teach our children as they're growing up. When they develop their self-doubt, oh no, you are the smartest kid. You can do anything you set your mind to. Isn't it? Every parent tell their children the same thing. You can do whatever you want. Hey, you my son. Right? Even though I was the stupidest in my class. I will never admit that. I was the monitor of the class. You know that? I broke a university record. You can break it too. Now, we need to tell that lie to build his esteem. Right? Okay. Now he's grown up. Now he needs to be told the truth. That's the part which we don't do. We never go back to our children that this was done because you were not at that moment ready to absorb the dark, real truth that you are really not that great. It would have absolutely not allowed you to grow. Now you can stand that. that there are others who are greater than you, and you are an instrument of some higher power, and everything is going to flow through you. Don't let your head blow so high that you start.
What about the other way around?
Which is?
Which is in the childhood, you don't build their esteem. You don't say you are the greatest and you can do the best and all that. And when they grow up, they are really doing the best. So it's the opposite.
You can experiment. It has not happened known to work very well. It has not known to. When you have a strong, take the case of a plant. When the plant is small, you protect it. Let it grow. When it was that small, even a bird could trample it, much less a animal. But when the tree grows up, the trunk is big enough, now you can bring the same animal and tie with it. Right? Now, the animal that was being kept away, that it could not trample, now that animal can't do anything even if it hits it. Now you can tell the truth. Once the strength is there, inner and the outer. So you build the strength so that they can take this truth, which is very difficult. Even today, in this world, time and space, I'm just using that as an example, how it hurts not to hear from me that you are a good student. Doesn't it? You like to hear once in a while. Isn't that what we just were saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Not hearing hurts even today. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine if it was told to you when you were 5 years old? Ego. Mm-hmm. The most hideous disease to the human mind-body system. And so you first need that it can stand that pressure. I said, no Aisha, I'm not going to do that. She didn't run crying. What will happen to a 16-year-old there? Oh, I'm not beautiful anymore. Uncle said that to me. It happened in our mutual friend's death. The children were trying to express their love and admiration for the deceased, but didn't know how to say it, didn't have the right words. Every child said that the uncle was actually very stubborn, and that, but he still loved us. So that's their way of saying. I was the conductor of that session. And I said, children said the uncle was stubborn, but he actually was a very determined man, very strong-willed, had a single-minded purpose of life, and he would not deviate from the purpose. That was his strength. One of the girls went to the father and said, Uncle corrected me, I am never going to speak to him again. It's insult to me directly that he corrected me while in public. So he called me and said, next time you come home, be ready. I said, no, I don't need to be ready, you need to be ready, because it is your fault as much. If they were going to speak, you should have asked them what they are, how to express the desire and the sentiments about a deceased. Every characteristic can be presented as a positive or a negative. Every characteristic. Anna? You can say,
It's social, right? It's a social thing.
Yeah. देखो ना जी वो बड़ा दानी है ना तुझ कह सकते जी वो बड़ा जेड़ा he was very open minded and big hearted and he gave to everybody, or you can say this guy was so wasteful, he didn't care about the family, gave it to the others, right? It's the same act.
You're selling him, right?
And for a deceased, you are taking the characteristics
You're looking at different.
and you are expressing it a positive way rather than a negative way.
Do you have to?
Then don't say anything. Why trash the one who's gone who can defend himself?
Different does it make? It's not.
Then don't say it. Why do you need to get up in front of the public and the guy who's gone, he was a real SOB.
They're children. They're saying what they felt, right? Why should they polish it and
And that's the point, that socially you do not.
It's a social thing. It's not a spiritual thing.
No. I'm talking about as to how you raise a child in the beginning. That I'm trying to give the answer.
Yeah.
That she could not understand the implication, and she wasn't ready to accept yet the bitter truth. So, when you are raising a child, you need to tell some or fibs. You need to present something in a half truthful way, half lies. So long as you go back and correct it and say, I told you because that was the reason, there was a reason. Now you are ready to hear the truth. We don't do that. Which is what most of the children will say, I wish somebody had told me. Why have gone through life so many years without knowing all these years that I thought I was the doer of all of this, and suddenly I find that I was really playing a role by somebody else pulling my strings?
By that time, ਇਹ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਜੀ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ego ਇੰਨੀ grow ਹੋ ਗਈ ਹੋਏ ਕਹਿਣ ਕਿ ਵੀ whatever you're saying doesn't make sense to me.
And that's exactly what happens. That's exactly what happens. Majority of the people on Sunday that you see, those who are sitting in the other side of the hall, what are they saying? Whatever you're saying is all lie. I'm not going to buy it. Right?
Because all my life I've been
all my life has been told this, and here you come with this. I'm not even going to sit and listen to you, much less analyze it, much less look at it and then reject it. I don't even want the word coming to my ear. I don't want to deal with it. Because their own ego, as you said, has become now so strong. Hey, what I know is correct and is the absolute truth, and there can be no deviation from it.
Because ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ parents ਨੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ develop ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ, now he thinks he's read more, he's learned more, he's smarter.
That's it.
But everybody grew up with that model in the home.
Sure.
We all in the Sikh society, we grew up with that model, but we just happen to get away and like to hear and listen.
So that's God's will, I guess. Some
As a grace.
Grace.
As a grace.
ਇੱਕ ਅੱਜ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਦੋ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਕੀਤੇ ਜੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਜੋ ਸਮਝ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਪਰ ਸਪਿਰਚੁਅਲਿਟੀ ਪਰ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਜੋ ਫਲ ਹੈ ਜੋ ਫਰੂਟ ਹੈਗਾ the fruit is only one thing which is being ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਮੰਮੀ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਭੇਦ ਹੋਣਾ. So to be one with him.
One with one.
So
yes.
that's the
only acceptable end result of the human body incarnation.
ਤੇ ਇੱਕੋ ਹੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਦੁੱਖ ਮੇਨ ਦੁੱਖ ਸਮਝਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਜਾਂ ਨਿਰਫਲ ਸਮਝਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਉਹ ਹੈਗਾ to go through this cycle
of life and death.
And ਉਂਗਲੀ ਦਾ ਕੱਟਿਆ ਜਾਣਾ ਇਹ ਉਹ that's not the pain or ਦੁੱਖ it talks about.
ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਸਰੀਰ ਦਾ ਭੋਗ ਕਿਹਾ ਗਿਆ, ਉਹ ਦੁੱਖਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ. See, just as the same finger if caressed feels good, it's the same finger if cut feels pain. So that's just the bhog. It is the sensuality of the senses. It has nothing to do with the soul's thanks that it's a beautiful metaphor. Somebody asked Buddha, I say, what happens when you really die? And he said, have you ever worn a shoe that is 2 sizes too tight? I says, no, but what do you mean? He said, well, unless until you know that how it feels when you take the shoe off, you can't know what soul feels when the body drops. It is a punishment. It doesn't want to come back.
But how did he
It's a straight jacket.
How does he know?
Huh?
How did Buddha know?
He did all
Brahmgyani.
this.
You can know it too. You can know it too.
But doesn't soul get mixed up with the other souls? I mean, that it still keeps its identity after death?
No, we have talked about this, that it is your individual memories, your individual body, the astral body that carries that. The soul remains inside the thing. It does not free itself. In other words, the life energy, which is called soul, it's a bad name given to it.
But doesn't it get mixed up with the source?
No. It doesn't
like
go
an
anywhere.
ocean?
No. Because the astral body is sustained by the same energy. And astral body has the memories. Till the memories wash away, astral body cannot drop. Now when
How long astral body survives?
it doesn't. It takes the physical form as soon as possible.
So sanskar,
Sanskar, that's what the cycle of life and death is.
Unless somebody has done bhakti and
Bhakti, then you would have, if you had done bhakti, then you would have known what the answer to the question that she just said.
then you get nirvana.
Yeah, you would have
don't get
you would have freed yourself from the bondage while you
But
were
then
here.
if your shoe is so tight, you take it out, then you want to go into another shoe.
Oh, you don't
You
want
never
to
want
wear
to
it
go
again.
back into that.
You want bigger shoe.
Oh, you don't want to wear that shoe again.
You want to write a comedy routine about it? Go ahead. I was just creating a visual image of this.
but I guess a scientific metaphor could be that as long as ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਇੱਕ charge ਹੈਗਾ ਜੀ, positive charge and negative charge, as long as each one of them have a charge,
Yeah.
whether it's a positive
Or a negative,
they will continue.
they
to
will
exist.
continue to survive.
But if they become neutral,
Once everything is exhausted, then that shell drops.
and then it's
Then you go to the next
it
layer,
meet-
and
meets
as the
into
layers keeps on dropping,
Yeah.
then you keep on
It
freeing out
disappears.
the essence that's inside. That's why I gave you the metaphor of the Chinese boxes, one box inside the other,
Right.
one box inside the other. As you keep on throwing the boxes, you will be completely empty of all the boxes other than the outer shell. We are just a shell, nothing in it. And when that shell finally drops, now you can say soul merges with the earth, Param soul.
And until then, you're in a physical life.
And
yeah.
until that, you stay there. Yeah.
those sanskars carry on.
Ikra panda ban gaya, right? That's why we use the metaphor of that I take the clay, I make a pot. Now there's air in the pot. The pot has been sealed. That air is going to stay in the pot till the pot is completely broken. Right? The energy is already there, has already been there, will continue to be there. The container trapped that content. And the metaphor was, do you understand how it feels to be in a straight jacket like an environment? And if that straight jacket is removed, how relieved you feel. That's how that entity which is locked inside you will be relieved of the stress, the pressure. So we're just trying to create a visual image of that. In other words, people are so afraid of dropping the shell. He was trying to remove that fear. That the dropping the shell is actually a relief, not a punishment. Don't be afraid of that.
I feel like most of the Asian peoples have a different calmness, more calmness than other cultures.
So, as much the outer search, जितनी बाहर दी दौड़ है, as much the tension inside, because the gap between the inner and out keeps on increasing. More the contentment.
No, I'm saying the Asian, a lot of the Asian culture people, I mean Asians are more content.
That's why because of that contentment, they look to be at peace. If they were chasing the outer the same way, they were chasing the outer the same way, they will be in the same tension. If not, see those who are, whether they are in Amritsar or whether they are in the United States, same problem.
Because even like our religions also say the same thing, but I think we are not. We're not that as content as a lot of Asian.
Yeah.
Now the next generation is different, but when I go to my school and I see people walking, I can feel them. You know, like I can feel they don't have big homes. A lot of them still don't have big homes.
No, you can experiment with your own life.
Korean, Vietnamese,
right? I mean, you can
Buddhist, people that are Buddhist.
You can experiment with your own life right now, right? If you retire right now, you know that you don't need more wealth, you got enough, you know that you got a home, the children are already married off, etc. And if you stop that tension of getting up in the morning and I have to now go to the school and then do the term papers and grade them, etc., all the tension disappears, right? What have you given up? That monthly paycheck, right? But if you are to chase the paycheck, certain amount of tension is going to be associated with it. Which is what is now you take that micro example and explode it to the macro. Well, I am chasing to become a multi-millionaire, then I'm going to be unhappy. Because I'm constantly in tension to do something. Which is what the Asian cultures do not chase the outer that much. As the Western cultures do.
I think proportionately they are more content than
yes.
us.
Yeah.
And that may be their sanskars or because
नहीं वो ट्रेन ही कितने अंदर जो रज़ा है
background
जो रज़ा है इन्होंने रज़ा वाली गल कोई नहीं ना right here the model is you control your own destiny, you make your own destiny. There is nothing like okay whatever is the will is no, there is no will. So वो पैराडाइम ऐसा बन रहा है. How are we doing?
We're doing okay. I did have a question. You were talking about Buddhism before in two paths, or Buddhism thought before. You spoke in your language, so I didn't really get it. You know what I'm talking about?
Buddhism is Buddhism is a path of knowledge.
Yeah.
You seek the knowledge so much in depth, not breadth, but depth, that the seeker disappears in the knowledge.
After that,
you seek, right? You start breaking the molecule to the atom to the nucleus, nucleus to the proton to the, you keep on breaking. You are going deeper into. You are not studying more and more of the different items. Gyan, knowledge path is you go deeper into a single thing.
That's Gyan.
That's Gyan, knowledge. Okay. You keep on going so and so that the questioner disappears into the inquiry. Okay. Because eventually you're going to run a barrier where there is no more breaking down. Right? Eventually you're going to run the barrier. I have something beyond the knowing, and you drop the self. That's Buddha method. In that, the seeker has to be there all the way to the end. Right? That means the ego will stay intact. till the end.
Until it's humbled by the infinite
absence of the ultimate answer. Answer never comes, the questioner dies. That's a Gyan Marg. What's the risk? The ego can become so strong, they say, I refuse to die. I know enough now. I don't need to know anymore. I have known all there is to be known. That's the risk. But now the other side of it, which is called the meditative path, Bhakti Marg, there the requirement is you surrender the ego first. Everything is His will. You accept that you are not the doer, He is. What's the risk? You do everything blindly. You don't even question. Everything is His will. And you may be going totally in the wrong path, and because somebody told you do this, it's His will. Go the wrong way. That risk. The Sikhism married the two thought. Not that extreme, not this extreme. Means what? Inquire in the beginning. Do ask the question. Seek out. Find the right path. That's where the word Gurmat and Manmat. Gurmat means seek from the one who has gone ahead of you. Manmat means follow whatever you already know. Follow your own mind. Say, no, don't do that. Seek. Ask. But then don't go into the analysis of paralysis. Keep on asking, never doing anything. Once you have a reasonable answer and expect, then start doing it. And if you run into a boundary or a barrier, come back, seek again. So balance the two. What will happen? Slowly, the ego will drop by itself without you having to do anything. You would not be even aware. Why? Because you surrender it. You start with the man understanding that he's a doer. Now start practicing that. He's a doer. I'm not. He's a doer. So when now you start making decisions, every decision you make, you remind yourself, that decision is not mine. It is a blissfulness from somebody else. He put the thought in there. I have a tea. I'm drinking tea. He put the thought. I'm not the drinker. He is. So slowly, I completely disappears from your whole existence. As soon as the I disappears completely, He is. So that's a synthesis. And this method can be implemented while you are living in the world. You don't have to be a renunciate. Where both other methods requires you to be dedicated. Either live in the world or renounce the world and go on this search. This method can be implemented while you are in the world. Actually, you need the world, right? How would you know otherwise that now you really are implementing Him doing, not me? Sure. Right? So then the world becomes your training school to practice that day in, day out, every moment. Everybody becomes the teacher then. Husband, the wives, the children, the friends, everybody becomes the teacher. Because they are now giving you the reason to look inside. How are you responding? If you are responding in anger, that means the ego is still there. If you are responding in attachment, that means the ego is still there. Right? So now you are observing your reactions with the input from the real world. If you leave the real world, how would you know? I don't get angry, that's fine. You stayed in the jungle for 30 years. There was nobody to get angry with. How would you know that you have conquered the anger? Certainly can't get angry with the tree.
You can with the animals.
Yeah, you talked about attachments there, but what about attachments like in families?
Same.
The desire, it's
the
some
same.
type of desire.
It is the same.
So
If you think you are the mother,
yeah,
then you have just attacked yourself. If you know you have a role of a mother, not the mother, you have a role of a mother to play. So just play the role. When you are playing the role, the attachment would not be there. If you really believe you are the mother, attachment is there. So all you're doing is shifting what? A paradigm. A notion is changing. You're still hugging the son, but now as an actress, not as a mother. An actress who's playing the role of a mother. A momentary event. The director says action, act. Director says cut, done.
So the things have to change inside.
Inside,
Not
absolutely.
outside. They
Outside has very little to do with it. All shifts are inside of the consciousness, nothing to do with outside.
So do you think about that love as like God's love, or whatever you feel for your child, or you actually?
If it was love, what's the definition of love? It is never ever changing, right? Love is God, God is love, right?
Yes.
God is never changing under any set of circumstances. Is that correct?
Yeah.
We can curse him, we can yell at him, we can do whatever we want. Nothing changes. Okay? Fine. You're in love with your son. Is that love going to stay the same regardless of what son does to you?
Yeah, unconditional.
Can it be?
In reality, no.
In real life?
No.
Can it be? Let's take a simple example. A 2-year-old who knows nothing and just developing teeth is teething, and the mother is feeding him. He bites once, twice. What will happen? Would you still keep on feeding him?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. I mean, it's a simple question. Would you keep on feeding him, or would you find a bottle?
Depends how hurt I got.
Right? Isn't it? So then, what is coming in the middle?
Pain.
What is causing the change? Your pain, right? What happened to the love?
The love should still be there, but that action probably.
So it changed, did it not? So that means it was conditional. If I am comfortable with you, I'll continue providing you love. You create discomfort for me, the love is going to disappear.
I don't know. I think I would feed him the bottle, but I would still love him. He's a baby.
Okay, now.
I mean, you take some action too.
Now wait. The terminology. We are now playing with the terminology. Okay. We said love is God and God is love. Love does not change under any set of circumstances. If the love is subject to the change, then it is an attachment, not love. An attachment masquerading, getting confused as love, but it is really an attachment. If that child is always in the jail and you are constantly going to the jail to bail him out, what will happen?
Change.
Would your feelings for him change?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
If it is changing, is it love?
It's attachment.
These are difficult things to deal with because we have been conditioned to confuse the word lust and attachment with love. When we are attracted to the opposite sex, we think we are in love. But are we? Or is it the lust masquerading as love? A meditator has to deal with things very, very sincerely. You cannot play games with yourself. Because truth is always 100%. It does not have even 1% allowance. Oh, I'm still the mother. What is the matter with you? I cannot hate my child. No, you don't hate your child, but you really don't love him either.
So the truth.
By the definition of love, by the way.
You are attached to her.
So the thing to, I guess, watch out is unconditional. So unconditional means unconditional.
Right.
There is no qualifier in this.
Exactly. So
There is, whether it is between a man and a woman, whether it is between a brother and a brother and a sister, it doesn't matter what relation you create.
Right.
If the relationship is of love,
right.
it's unconditional.
Exactly. And the reality is that in human relations, it can never
never ever happen.
happen. It always is conditional.
It's always a condition. Somebody's conditions may be little closer, somebody's may be little further away,
Right.
but the condition is will always be there. It is hidden, it's lurking, it may not have come on the surface, it is always there.
Once you had given a beautiful example that we think we are doing things for others out of love. It is after doing we feel good.
Yeah.
You know.
It is self-gratification.
I mean, simple example of, I was shopping because I needed something. I bought something and I was in tears that time because there was nobody to come home and show to.
Show it to.
So now the tears were because there was nobody to
show it. It was, you got certain satisfaction out of that. That satisfaction is no more there.
Correct.
Because otherwise, I mean, if it was unconditional, then that will sustain, that crying will never stop.
Right, correct.
It was a shocking revelation to me when that happened to me. I was in 9th grade. And I read a book by Leo Tolstoy with the title Love or Lust. Ninth grade.
He was precocious child.
And I went and told it to one of my friends. And he slapped me. This story is about Western mothers, it's not about Eastern mothers.
Yeah, we were trained that way growing up. Yes.
And the real thing is that the women suffering actually is so much because of that paradox. If you ask any mother, why are you unhappy? The children are not good. Or wait a minute. But why are you unhappy? We become unhappy because the other is not behaving to our standard. Not because I am missing something.
Correct. Correct.
Right? My health is okay. I am being fed properly. I have a house. I am living alright. Everything is fine. But my child is not behaving according to my standards, so I am unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that crazy? Because the same child was under my control when he was only 2 years old. Now he's 20 years old and he's not under my control, so I'm unhappy. It is his life. If he or she is doing anything right or wrong, it is his destiny. You were given a role of a mother, mothering. Right? You are supposed to be mothering the child. And you did. You are done. Take a look at any bird.
Oh yeah.
A little bird comes out of the nest, fly away. I'm done. Does the cow worry about that the calf is not reproducing anything? Does the bird worry about anything? Which carnation on this planet worries about what the others do?
Only humans.
Only the humans. And they are unhappy. It's the same relation, same example. Why is the wife unhappy? Are you being mistreated? Are you not being fed? Don't you have enough money, clothes, shelter? What is missing? Nothing. So then why are you crying? He is drinking too much. What was that to you? If he is destroying his life,
No, it disrupts the
Whole
family.
house.
Family.
because of the reaction.
No.
Because of the reaction of the family. No, wait.
That's a bad example, sir.
No, it's not a bad. I want you to dwell. I want you to go deeper into it.
Yeah.
The man drinks. Okay? The question was, is he not feeding you? Is he not paying the bills? Is he abusing you? Why are you unhappy? What it is happening to you that is the cause of happiness? To you, nothing. Brings the money? Yeah. Payments made? Yeah. Then what's the problem? He comes home, then he drinks. Then what? He goes to sleep. Then why are you unhappy?
Because mentally he's not there. Companionship is lacking. Companionship is lacking.
So aren't you trying to control his life now?
So if instead of drinking, if it was bhakti, if it was he was doing the bhakti, it'll be the same
let's go
thing.
there. I was coming. I'm glad you led it there, Gunvanty. Now we're going to drop the drink part, and he's going to go to his own room. He's going to shut the door, and he's going to meditate.
Right.
Same problem.
No, not so. I would be very happy.
No,
I was very happy
he's
because
still not available to you.
Same problem. Same problem.
It's exactly the same because
It's not exactly the same.
No.
Now
It's-
she can blame it.
it was your response.
Is right.
Wait a minute.
Still unhappy.
Both of you said in a single voice, he is not available.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it.
That was unanimous response from both of you simultaneously. It is impacting the family unit because he is not available.
Well,
Even though he's bringing the money, he's paying the bills, he's not abusing anybody, he's not hurting anybody.
What if he's not bringing the money? What if,
Okay, now we'll go there also. We will come. I'm saying to you is the relationships.
No, but in the second case where he's meditating, at least there's peacefulness. There's more of the understanding.
When he's drunk, he's sleeping on the sofa is a peacefulness.
No, it's not.
He's not fighting with you, he's not arguing with you.
Sorry,
he's doing
I
nothing.
have been through it for years and years. It is the most hurtful way of living. Okay, it destroys you, crushes you.
And I am telling you, Asha ji, it is doing because of our conditional
I agree.
response.
I agree.
It is
I agree.
our conditional response to the other's behavior.
And what is good, what is considered good and bad.
what
Exactly.
you consider good?
What you consider. You set up a standard of others' behavior. We were talking of a mother and a child relationship. I projected the same thing to.
No. Due to alcohol, how that person behaves, it can destroy your house, it can burn your house. There can be lot of things. You know, a house remains unlocked. You know what I'm saying?
No,
so
wait.
that person becomes
Asha
a
ji,
child.
You are just adding the dimensions which I did not.
No, but that's a reality.
No, I am just
And Bhakti
asking
Marg
you.
will not do that.
I am asking you. I set up a stage for the relationships. Okay, the first relationship scenario was the child is only 2 years old. of no fault of his own, he's teething.
I know. We got that. Yeah.
Right? And he's biting.
Right.
The mother's love will change.
Correct.
Okay. Then we said the child grows up and is not behaving according to the mother's standard. The behavior will and the love will change. Now, that was the parent and child relationship. I said, take a look at the adult to adult relationship. It is exactly the same conditioning of the mind. What the other is not behaving. I am okay. I'm taken care of. The children are taken care of. The house is taken care of. But the other is still not behaving the way I want the other to behave. Hence, I am unhappy. That was the model I was following in taking two extreme examples. One of the meditator, the other of a drunkard. And the result is still the same. If we sit back from this and say, hold it. If I am an actor, and it is a role I am playing, why am I letting my consciousness be infected by this? When you start looking at it that way, the whole of the life will shift. A sudden dramatic shift in your consciousness. If I am an actor, does Julia Roberts worry about what the man with whom she was playing the role of a lover does in his house now? She was acting. The acting is done. Why am I bothered by others' behavior now? Because of our conditional response. Drop that conditional response. Become the true actor to the world. And the quality of the relationship will shift.
The other part is that because in that relationship there was a certain boost to ego because of the control.
Right.
And
loss
when
of control.
And when that control seems to go away, whether that's drinking or bhakti or whatever,
or something in the middle,
or
somebody's gambles, somebody does this, or somebody does that, somebody doesn't come home, stays with a friend, or somebody stays in front of the TV and watches football all week long. It doesn't matter.
So regardless,
all behaviors ultimately will boil down to the same thing: loss of control, which hurts ego.
Or attachment, and that's ego.
Okay.
Too. Yeah.
And a meditator will have to go through these type of deep thinking within the self. What am I holding on to that's hurting? It's not the other. It's you. It is you holding on to something, which is, as he points out, hurt to the ego. If he's drunk, he's not under my control. If he's watching a movie, he's not under my control. If he's meditating, he's not my control. If he's sitting with his friends, he's not under my control. If he's golfing all day long on the weekend, he's not under my control. Right? Everything eventually boils down to a hurt to the
It's okay, he's oversimplifying. It's okay for understanding.
Yeah, but it's not only the control. It's
I know.
What else is?
It's the companionship. It's the
attachment.
togetherness.
And decisions made under
It's
the
not
effect
the
of alcohol.
attachment
Yeah, no. Slow down. When we talk about the companionship, the way the companionship is being offered is unacceptable. The companionship should be given the way I want it.
No.
You are a black.
That part is correct.
True,
I agree.
exactly true.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that if it's a wise thing a person is doing, then you don't want to join that person in the drinking. But if the person is doing bhakti, then yeah, you may want to join them.
Oh, is that right?
No, not everybody.
Is that right?
And that is because how you want it.
Is that right?
I have seen the
No,
other
wait, she
part.
got the message
No,
already.
no.
She already got the message. She said it, but she's thinking.
No, what you're saying, you're not gonna go
No, they
drinking
don't.
with the person because the person is going to the bar and drinking there. You're not gonna go.
But you
No,
are not
but
going
I'm
for
saying,
bhakti either.
Are you
You
sure?
may not, but that's a good thing, and you might think about it.
That's
But
right,
the
that's right.
drinking, you don't think about it.
that either.
So,
It doesn't
you're
work.
gonna go drinking.
There are wives that join the drinking.
Now I will show you. No, wait.
He touched the sensitive part of
No,
that's
no.
right.
Serena, have you seen the movie Sahib Bibi or Ghulam?
Yes. Sahab Bibi or Ghulam. Very good movie.
What was the model there?
Yeah, she drank, but she didn't drink up to the.
She did.
Actually, she became alcoholic and he was not.
Not alcoholic. She became alcoholic.
Yeah,
She became alcoholic.
Correct.
But that's not the point. I'm trying to drive a message home. You are picking on to the detail. Okay? You are picking off a minor detail. I'm saying we are conditioned to think and respond to the conditions in our own way. Okay? So I grew up in a certain way. And in my mind, a woman should behave in a certain way. Right? So now, if my woman doesn't behave in a certain way, I am hurt. Which is a absolutely wrong thing to do. Because it is my conditioning. She didn't ever bought it to respond to my conditioning. She has her own conditioning. So, if you are to ask me, okay, why are you unhappy? Well, if I don't get something, I can say I'm unhappy because I'm not getting this, I'm not getting that, I'm not getting this. But 99% of the time would be, no, I'm okay. She's not doing this. I'm watching her do this and I'm unhappy. But are your needs taken care of or not? If they are, now it's a matter of control. Now it's a matter of ego. She's not fulfilling the model that you have. That is possible only if there is an attachment, if there is an ego involved. If it was a role of actor, that will never happen. If you act out a role, that whole thing will shift. And that's what a meditator needs to get to.
The other thing is that that's not just in any one relationship, that's in all relationships.
All relationships.
Whether it's wife with husband or husband with wife
It
or
doesn't
with
matter.
son, daughter,
It
brother,
also among
brother,
friends.
sister. friend.
Every human interaction
Right.
has the same law. You have been given a role to act out the role. Don't confuse the role with the actual relationship. There is nothing actual here. Not in this journey, not on this human mind body form. It is a confusion, it's an illusion that was created for your benefit when you were a little child. Now you are grown up. See the truth of this. See the reality of this. See through the fallacy of what you have grown up with. It's really not that complex.
जीने का मजा ही चला गया. I have said this before too. कितना beautiful dream world था. The charming prince is going to come on a horse.
Yeah.
And sweep us away.
Yeah. Have you talked to the charming prince what he was dreaming?
He had to say that.
They are not allowed to name. Only the girls are told. Boys are never told anything. They are a frog.
Oh,
they
were
are
all
a
frogs.
frog to be kissed by a
their
princess and
they have-
become a prince.
Yeah, but they have their own thing. You don't
And
know.
the frogs have no dreams. Huh?
It's a frog and a princess. So
why couldn't there be some?
No, they are told, wife will come and cook for you and give you babies and satisfy all your needs. That's all.
be your maid.
Well, they know everything.
Be a maid. Yeah.
And I tell you that prince is still looking for that. He hasn't found it yet.
I mean, he agrees with you 100%. His laughter tells me.
You can talk to every prince, they are still looking for their princess.
Too late, now on.
the meditator knows that.
अगले जन्म च करांगे.
The meditator sees through the fallacy of
What अगला जन्म?
नहीं होती.
a meditator sees through that fog that was created by these dreams and sees through it that this was just a drama, just a fairy tale. That's not the real one. The real one is that the real prince is sitting up there, and I am that bride who needs to get back there to meet with that prince. That's the real thing.
Aggressiveness or nirvana.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I didn't get
So
that.
is then being
Staying
here.
in the grist, you stay above
Nirvana, nirvana.
it. You stay above it,
About
above the pulls of the sensuals. That's the point. This is your practice ground.
And you can still
You will be thrown these examples and these challenges in front of you, and see if you can respond. Instead of looking through the fallacy, what do? We defend our responses. We validate. No, wait a minute. That's the real response. Isn't it? That's what this discussion is about. No, wait a minute. You are giving the wrong example. You are destroying the homes. तूने जिंदगी मजा ही खराब कर दिया.
We should be used to that by now.
I know. But वो थोड़ी सी इच्छा इधर उधर ड्रीम की रह गई है ना. थोड़ी सी he's trying to take that out.
A meditator has got to see through that fog of this sensuality, this mind conditioning. There is no Prince Charming.
Oh my God.
And there is no toad to be kissed to turn into a prince. There are no damsels in distress to be saved. What are they? Well, they are dramas created for you to act out, so that you can see within, while I'm acting out this drama, do I remember that I am really an actor? Or do I get lost into the story myself? So you are given these stories to act out. See it. And you will fall back, you will fail, get up again. You will be presented with another chance in a different form.
But if the actors don't really get into the act, then they can't act so really that when we watch it on the screen, we say, "My gosh."
That's true.
I was just gonna get to
No, that's true.
But they are
But they are getting into that only for the moment.
Yeah.
So ask yourself, do we ever get out of it?
Yeah, so that's the letting go thing, right? You can really
Right.
enjoy the moment or feel sad and let
Okay,
it go.
so he was a son and she was a daughter. Okay, when are you going to let it go? As long as I live. He's my son.
Yeah, he is, but
No, he's
Yeah.
not.
No, but there is no.
no, I mean
No, he has
relationship-
become a father of his own.
right. But the relationship stays of a mother.
No, it doesn't.
No, you gotta let go. That's what
I think that's a
Let
cultural.
go, but
that's a cultural
the-
thing. Serena.
It does not.
That's a cultural.
Sure.
time ago.
You finish your role. Get on.
Yeah, you finish the role, but I mean the
Okay, so long as there is a but.
So then there's
टाइटल माँ की टाइटल तो रहेगी ना भाई
that's
टाइटल
Not
what
at all.
I'm saying. That's
Not
what
at
I'm
all.
saying. The titles would stay.
Not at all.
And that's what you've been telling, that we keep them. but
We are
others
constantly
keep
going
them.
back to defending
We
our
got-
behavior.
That's what we got to do. Like that.
That's not a behavior of a meditator.
But then you gave the example of long time ago that people say गधे वर्गा करता है, कुत्ते मंगर इंच करता है, ये वो है. But then we don't want to go back there then
What?
to behave like them. because we have the emotion.
Detachment is like a gadha.
No. No, long time ago you gave examples of them that if you behave like
We were talking about the
That was something different.
yeah, we were saying the
I remember
stubbornness.
that.
We're saying the animals, we have a conscientiousness in self. We don't want to be like animals.
Correct.
right.
That's what we were saying, that we hate to be compared with the animals.
Yeah.
The
But in
society has developed the ritualistic behavior that is everything that they watch the animal. If the animal is doing something, we don't want to do exactly the opposite. And you can watch. Look at any animal. They don't make a festivity out of eating, right? A dog will take a bone and run. It will hide and eat alone. We don't want to. We hate eating alone. Right? We make a whole public show out of it. But an animal will heat will mate wherever the mate is. I don't want to mate whenever I want to hide. We do exactly the opposite. Animal have no consciousness of the body. We have a consciousness of the body. We covered it. So इस करके we are हमें कुत्ते की तरह ना भौंक, गधे की तरह नहीं जिद कर.
But in the attachment side, we want to be like that.
No.
Right?
That you want to copy.
That's what I'm saying. On that side, we want to copy, but
Right.
other things we don't want to copy.
कुत्ते दी वफादारी कापी करनी है, कुत्ते दा लोभ नहीं. मालक दे नाल वफादार होना है. मालक दा डर नहीं छड्डना. कुत्ते च खूबी है, पर कुत्ते च माड़ा काम भी है, वो लोभी है, वो नहीं लेना. Okay.
She wants
It
explanation.
sounded beautiful when you said it.
The dog
Yeah.
has two qualities.
Yeah.
One is the faithfulness to the owner.
Yeah.
That's a good quality. You want to learn from it.
Ms. Astor. Thank you. Thank you.
Very nice. You should come because we enjoy the discussion. You should keep coming, really.
That's it.
Thank you.
But dog also has a bad habit. He's very greedy. He never says no to the food, no matter how full he is. You give him anything, he'll keep on eating. And that's a bad habit. You don't want to copy that. So that was the saying. You can learn few things from animals. Good things, you get that. So she's saying that, well, they are not attached, then I don't want to be like an animal because they are not attached.
I'm just saying that we gave this other example before and now we're saying this.
We want to get that.
I have one more question. We are in this body, and I know, even though you know you're an actor, you could still act in the drama, right? Like the drunk husband, you could yell at him or whatever, knowing that you're acting the role and not really being attached. You could actively play the role,
Right.
but not really.
You play the role
Yeah.
for the duration of the role
Right.
and then let go.
Yeah. So it's okay to feel anger. It's okay to feel joy. It's okay to feel sadness. I mean, you're gonna feel
So
because
long
we are
as-
a sensual creature.
Well, the qualifier. Now remember the qualifier.
Yeah.
When you feel the anger, remember that you are the one who's angry.
Okay.
Not because I did something and that's why you are angry.
Right. Okay.
Okay? So you will certainly, when you will fall back on yourself. It is my anger and I am conscientiously expressing it.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
It's not his or her anybody else's fault.
Okay.
Most of the time what do we do?
Yeah, we blame somebody else.
Yeah, I'm angry because you did so and so.
Right.
Or you didn't do so, this and that.
So accept
I'm not responsible for my anger. You are.
Right.
That's where
Right.
the evolution stops.
Right. So if you realize that, okay, this
So
is
long
the
as there is a
feeling
memory of
anger,
that.
this is the sensation, fine, feel it. let
And
it
I'll share a secret with you. The moment you become aware of that, it's my anger, it'll disappear.
You don't want to own it.
You don't-
But so same goes for all the emotions.
All of the negative energy, as soon as you own it,
all the part, all,
Yeah.
all love or joy or
try it.
thrill.
Try it. Negative energy would not stay with you if you own it. It'll disappear. So act it out
Right.
as your own.
Right.
It'll exhaust itself.
So that's why I'm saying you can actually actively take part in the drama to not being submerged by it, knowing that is the drama.
Again, when you are taking actively part in the drama, a part of you always know that you are acting, right?
Yeah.
Forget most.
No
Yeah.
actor can ever forget, even on the stage, under the camera's lights, that they are really acting. A part of them always know that. And they practice by standing in front of the mirror. And they continue practice till they can deliver that dialogue, knowing that I'm delivering the dialogue, but I should come across to the other as if I am real. It's that memory that needs to be developed.